Welcome, everybody. It must be Thursday night. I am your host. Welcome to the Locker Room Sports Show. I'm Mike Laurel. Of course, with me today, as starting to be a usual thing around here, we have the one and only James Scorza producing.
Yes,
and
sir.
we got over here the hammer, Joey Marks. Joey, what's going on, dude?
What is happening?
Let's do it.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know what's not been happening? It's been the Sixers over these last couple games.
Oh, yeah. It's been a real tailspin.
Well, yes and no. I'm not panicking, and I don't think anybody out there has a reason to panic as of yet. I mean, look, 2-game losing streak, I get it, but Indiana played them hard, and Boston kind of took advantage of tired legs. So yeah, they were both unfortunate wins, but. You know, the one thing that I can take away from the last series of games is that there's more to this team than just two guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of makes me feel a little bit better because we, for a long time in this city, relied on the superstars to carry the water for the Sixers from game to game.
Right.
Whether it was Simmons or Embiid or Harden or whomever. Now, there's a lot of role players, and Rocco had a good game last night, and, Melton's having good games. So, having these guys, and when Nico comes back, he's a good, viable player. There's a lot of depth there, and it gives me a lot of potential for what this team could really become, even if they were to go and get another piece.
James, what was your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I didn't see much of the game. I guess I was a little bit under the weather. I guess the one thing that really took out to me was it was a little bit of a couple kind of strange couple games for them, obviously. And I think that what they need to do is coming up. Who they play next after
Hawks.
For the Hawks.
That should be an easy win. I'm sorry. I know I was talking about it a few years ago about the Hawks being the Hawks, but there's no way that they can't lose to them again, can they?
I don't know. Just to me,
the Hawks had our number though. I don't know why.
Well, they did. And what's up, Daniel? Thanks for checking in, buddy. My thoughts were, like I said, I didn't see much of the game. I was going back and forth between that and the Flyers yesterday.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
So, we're going to get into that too because they finally got that monkey off of their back too, right? The Carolina Hurricanes. But, I listen. If you would have told me, hey, Sixers' first 11 games, they're going to be 8-3, everybody will sign up for it.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, and I like how Nick Nurse has this team playing. They're playing complementary basketball.
Look, there's something to be said, and I was gonna kind of point this out. So, like, if you do a word association, and I'll start with you, Mike. I'll name a coach, and I want you to tell me the first word that comes to mind when I say the coach. Phil Jackson.
Go.
Smart.
Doug Collins.
Smart.
Yeah, I say smart.
Greg Popovich.
Top.
So, yeah.
Doc Rivers.
Inconsistent in playoffs.
I'm not going to kill Doc because, he does have success where he goes. So, if
does.
I had a word for him, I would say average.
Yeah.
Nick Nurse.
Winner. I said that's the first thing I say is too.
See, we've only had a small sample size of Nick here.
Right, but you can take his whole body of work.
If you're taking his whole body of work, he's won a championship. So, I would say he's top echelon. He's top echelon.
Because for me, it's a matter of when you compare the differences in strategies, the differences in coaching styles, the way that, and look, I, of all people in this room, was a Doc Rivers fan.
No, I was too.
Right. But I waved the flag and everyone was like, well, and I just refused to give up that hill. However, towards the end, I'm like, when he started to kind of push away everybody is like, I'm going to do it my way or the highway. That's when it made it feel like he's not coaching. He's just wants to be play coach. He
Right.
doesn't actually want to coach.
Right.
Nick Nurse, I put Nick Nurse in the same category and class as Spoelstra.
Hmm.
Guys that grow into their role as a head coach, that love this business, that love this company, that love doing coaching and love the X's and O's, that they don't just do it just to hear themselves speak. And I
What's up,
think
Mitch?
that makes a big difference.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess I could agree with you there. I've liked the play of B-Ball Paul. B-Ball Paul's been really kind of getting in there, getting some minutes, and he's looking good, man. He's looking a little dominant.
Jalen Springer.
Yeah,
I was out on him for a while. I was like, what are we doing with this guy?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing because after a while, I was like, when's he going to get a lot of playing time?
When are we going to see him?
Right.
It was
Right.
like with every other first round pick we've seen,
Mhm.
not first overall, but first round pick we've seen.
And it's funny because it's like we always saw Shake Milton, but we never saw Springer a lot either.
Right. And I'm just like, okay, why aren't we seeing more of this kid?
Right.
right.
And I'm like, okay. And then
But-
he wins the G League MVP. And
Well, that
finals
was Doc.
MVP.
I mean, we all know that. That was Doc. Doc didn't like playing young players.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Doc had his way, he wouldn't,
Springer might not
Yeah.
be playing right now.
exactly.
Yet this team right now, if you look at the team right now, you wouldn't say this is a very young team with a lot of the wily veterans that are on this team with Pat Bev and Nico and Marcus Morris and
Correct.
stuff like that.
Yeah, but if you're looking at it, though, it really kind of is because guys like Pat Bev and Morris, they're not really getting much playing time.
Yeah, Mike says the Sixers need to get a shooter off the bench like Buddy Hield.
Listen, Buddy, they had their chance. They could
They
have got
had him.
Buddy Hield.
They almost
They
had
could have had him and Halliburton
Yep.
in the
Ben
Oh,
Simmons
Ben,
deal.
Ben Simmons deal.
The
So,
Harden
I
trade,
mean, can you imagine that lineup now with
Oh,
Tyrese
yeah.
Maxey?
oh yeah,
Oh my God, like that would be. But getting back to this game, so they Sixers kind of came back a little bit. I feel, although I did love their red court. I'm sorry, I was a fan of it. I like it. I don't care. It's something different. Like when you're watching basketball games, you're tired of looking at wooden floors, man. Like they spruced it up, and I think they had one of the better ones.
Are you any of you guys Seinfeld fans? Because
I am.
It kind of reminded me of the chicken roast, the Kenny Rogers roaster. Like,
Oh, the red light from Kramer's room?
Yeah. But I'm saying, I mean, it's different. It's different, and like all the ones that I've seen so far throughout this little tournament that they're having.
yeah, some of them are like too much.
Yeah, but
quite a bit.
it's fun though, man.
It is
I think
fun.
it's cool that they're really doing that because, like I said, me personally, I am not a big NBA guy. I'm not. Like to me, I feel like college basketball is much more exciting
Yes.
I
than the
agree.
pros. Like
Yes.
I will sit and watch a college basketball game. If you tell me, yo, there's two games on, there's the Sixers and I'll say the Sixers and Bucks, or you give me, Nova and Georgetown. I'm watching the Nova Georgetown game. I could care less. Like, I mean, to me, I've just that's always been my personal opinion. I feel like the college game is better than the
Well,
pro game.
I don't disagree with you in some ways because, I mean, I always get fanatical when it comes down to tournament time, but I also get fanatical when it comes down to right after Christmas.
Yes,
That's when it kind of starts to really jack up a little.
I tell people all the time. They don't do it so much anymore.
Yeah.
But me and my friends, when we were teenagers, it wouldn't
Right.
be a thing, dude, to go to a quadruple header at the Palestra.
Yeah.
Like you
No.
paid one price
Price.
and you got 4 games.
Yep.
And it started at noon.
Yep.
You would have a game at noon, another game at 2:30, and then you'd have another game at 5:30, and then you had one around 8:00. And
you
were
wouldn't get out of there until 10:30.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you would sit there and you would watch, and they would be really good games.
Yeah.
Hey Jay,
And I mean,
go Philly.
that's the thing for me is I feel like some of the college basketball is intriguing because it feels like those guys, you want to talk about hungry athletes. Those guys, because there's so many college basketball programs and there's not college football is one thing, but you have a 53-man roster with 32 teams. in basketball, there's less spots, there's less
Yeah,
chance.
I mean, yeah,
you
college.
have to rise to the top.
Well, college, dude. I mean, college football, dude. That's like their roster's like 100.
Yes.
Mike Pappernick checking in says I can't connect to college basketball anymore because of the one and dones. Listen, you think it's bad now? Listen, I think the best thing that happened to college sports right now is that
Nova.
they got. There you go, Jay. Go Nova. What happened really with them is just NIL deal.
Yeah.
With them being now they have their like. I mean, listen. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. The NCAA made millions and millions and millions of dollars off of these kids in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I don't want to hear it. Oh, listen, if you're giving them an $80,000, I'll just throw it out there. They're going to school and it's $80,000 for a degree.
Mm-hmm.
You're making millions and millions of dollars off of their likeness, especially if you have a guy who's a star running back, a star quarterback, a star point guard, a star big man, and some of these Northeast colleges now you got to add in the hockey programs because now you got picks that are,
I was hearing Penn State a lot during some of those Flyers games being brought up. Penn State's hockey program.
That's what they really come a long way.
Yeah,
Michigan
they have.
Too.
But like again, like you're talking about, Penn State's hockey team, and then you got the powerhouses that like the Wisconsins,
Boston, Minnesota,
Boston College.
Michigan
no,
State.
no, Michigan, no, not in college hockey. No,
I'm sorry, North Dakota.
North Dakota. I mean, yeah, any of those, the Midwestern guys, the Eastern. You got Maine.
Yeah.
Vermont. Those schools are really, really good. So, I mean, again, like you have all four. The main four sports are kind of covered. But if you're taking a look at it, like I said, the only ones that really have pros really kind of there, and they're only pros because they were drafted, is college hockey.
Right.
Because look at the kid, was it Cutter Gunther? He's, he's been playing, he's a Flyers draft pick, and he's up there playing.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of players in the NHL that come out in college hockey. Like, obviously, Jonathan Toews is one, obviously, TJ Oshie, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of players out there that are like.
If you've ever been to a college hockey game, man, it's pretty neat. I like University of Penn has an ice skating rink.
Yes. Penn Ice. I used to play on it.
Yeah.
And when I played Pee Wee, I
went to the Frozen Four about a few years ago, like for that. When was that the Wells Fargo Center? Yeah, it's
the Frozen Four is pretty good. But I'll tell you what, if you ever want to see
Gostisbehere, that's when I knew about Gostisbehere.
If you really want to go see, like, go to a Minnesota Boston College, or no, Minnesota University of Boston BU game, or the best one of all is the Baked Bean Cup between BC and BU. That's like,
that's a bloodbath.
Steve checking in says fatigue equals mistakes equals no fourth quarter for Joe until the last 4 minutes. Yeah, listen, man.
That's the problem.
Well, I mean, is it? I mean,
he's got to be able to take a rest. Like, I'm sorry.
I understand.
What? I mean, at that point, Nick Nurse has two things. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We've said that 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather have Embiid play hard in a game against the Celtics in November and like deplete his energy or get him hurt or whatever, or would you rather have him be jacked up, ready to go full throttle and full throat in like April?
Yeah. I mean,
I would rather have it in April.
Here's the thing about what it be too. I mean, I guess I kind of agree with what you're saying, Joe, because it's like at the same time you don't want him to be overly tired when the time comes for him to be in crunch time. I get that.
I'm not saying I am not using the terms load management. I'm not.
I get that
because I don't like that. Mm-hmm. I think if you have if you're a capable body person, you should be willing to play. Yeah. However, I do know that, especially like a person like Embiid, whose size and endurance and stamina has been tested in the past, I'd rather, hedge my bet.
Sure.
Well, I mean, I don't know. With the Sixers, man, sometimes, like, it's hard for me to get, like, really, really up for the Sixers. Like, it's cool. I'm glad that they're playing well.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the fact that they got Nurse here. But to me, I don't know. I just can't get excited about them. I got to see them get
this story so many times.
Yeah, it's like fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Well, this is like your partner Pat Bernard would talk to me, and me and him would have frequent conversations about the Flyers back in the day. And the Flyers would start out hot, and I remember Pat goes, "Talk to me in 2 weeks." Like,
yep,
not buying it.
Yep,
talk to me in 2 weeks. Like, they have tortured my heart so many times, and sure enough, Pat was pretty much right, and that's probably the only time you'll ever hear me say that. But
yeah, it's kind of a thing we don't try to bring up around here.
Yeah, I understand. But here's the thing: is with the Sixers. Now, here's my question, Mike. Do you not get up for the Sixers because you've seen this story before, or do you not get up for the Sixers because you feel like, similar to baseball, like the regular season doesn't matter that much?
That's, to me, that's what I'm saying. What's up, Joe? Joe Sullivan checking in with us. Make sure you check him out every Monday night on the Out of the Box Network. Sully Squad, make sure you check them out over there. But yeah, to me, it's just the same thing. Like, I get angry now because of this whole, you don't want to bring up load management. I'm tired of it, to be honest with you, because every time we turn around, it's always like, oh, well, we got to rest him for this day.
Every year.
We got to rest him for this day. And it's unfair to the fans because I'm sorry, if you're going to do load management, then you need to put it out there where games you're going to load manage them. So this way,
he won't be tired.
No, it's the fans. Like, I'm sorry, but if your kid is a big Joel Embiid fan, you go out, you buy the kid the hat, you buy the kid the jersey, you take him to the game, and the dude's sitting.
No, I agree. I do agree with that, Mike.
So now we can't see this, and that's my problem with the NBA. That's why I don't try to watch anything really with the I'll watch it because one, we do this type, we're in this industry, so I have to watch, but like I don't give it my full attention. I really don't.
I've responded to this from plenty of people about what do you do about load management? If you don't like it, then what do you do about it?
Right.
What do you do in response? Some people are fans of like what I would say is a response, but some aren't, and that is Okay, so
LeBron does that a lot more than I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I could compare Embiid to LeBron.
No,
but it's kind of like.
But a lot more players are doing that, like Durant and other people like that are doing that too.
I don't get that either.
So for me, it's instead of doing like the summer league, which is pointless, you're going to do a summer league and then you're going to do like a preseason. That just seems pointless. Just extend the season by another couple weeks and do without these back-to-backs.
Yeah, and well, we're going to talk. We're going to finish up the Sixers talk, but we're going to do it right on the other side of this. We got to pay some bills.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about Sherry's Tickets. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less and play more with Sherry'sTickets.com. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. Do not pay hidden fees and save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller and get those hard-to-come-by tickets to the big game? If you need a more personal touch, give them a call at 610-494-5050. That's 610-494-5050. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great theater and concert tickets that are hard to get your hands on. Remember, do not overpay and save with the best at Sherry'sTickets.com. Save 10% using the promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. You'll thank us later. Sherry'sTickets.com.
All righty, guys, we're back. We were just finishing up the Sixers discussion. So looking forward, Joe. It says, hello, James. Hello, Mr. Oh, Jesus, God.
Let me guess.
It's Pat. Of course.
Let me guess.
He calls Pat, and then he goes, hello, Mr. Nipples. Hello, Mr. Slap and Tickle, Joey the Hammer Marks. Whipping it out and laying out the...
You don't have to finish it, Mike.
Oh,
you don't have to
Listen,
finish
I
it.
just worked a long day today. I worked a long day today, and now I got to sit here and try to read the goblet.
No, you don't have to read it.
Bad enough. I got to try to hear what he says when it comes out of his mouth.
Let's just call him Steve.
Can I do this on this show? when he does something like that, can I say beer rule instead
Yeah.
of coffee rule? Okay.
Yeah, you can
Yeah, every
definitely
time
do
he
that.
talks about
I mean,
that,
it's
you
it's
can take a
after
drink.
5 o'clock. So.
Yeah. Yep.
It's 5 o'clock
Um,
somewhere.
Yeah, so Pat, you have not only the beer rule now you got a beer rule and a coffee rule. It's like cheese and crackers, my brother.
What?
Now, hold on. I got to move on to it. I'm sorry. This was a game that I did watch. Nick Dean, what's up, Nick? Thanks for checking in, buddy.
Nick Dean?
Yes, Nick Dean. Yes, that's right. Nick Dean,
Wow.
a.k.a.
Hey, Nick.
Dude,
How you doing?
But
Nice.
listen, man, we had an interesting hockey team last night. Interesting game. They finally get a monkey off their back.
Yep.
Those Carolina Hurricanes.
Yes, sir.
How about them going 3-0 on the road?
Yeah.
I mean, look, we were all sitting here, and what did we all say?
If they got one, they were lucky, and they won all. They won all three.
Right.
They're doing something right.
But here's the other thing. An individual player, I feel like, got a monkey off his back, too, in that Carolina game. Carter Hart.
Yep.
Yeah, say what you will. And I get it. People want to sell the farm to rebuild the farm. But sometimes you got to plant a couple roses to start a garden. And he is a absolute stud of a goaltender.
You know,
Right.
I got to be honest with you. I was a little bit obtuse with Carter Hart because of all this stuff about the defense and X, Y, and Z. He's showing me that he's actually not a bad goaltender.
Nope.
I got to admit. I got to my cap.
Look, and would you rather not know that now and not pull another Bobrovsky and find that out after we
Good
trade
point.
him?
Yeah, and by the way, Bobrovsky went to the Cup final last year, so we're still.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Nick said JoJo.
There you go.
Yo.
That's a shout out. Hey, yo.
But I don't know, man. I'm still a little cautious. I'm glad they're doing what they're doing because, like you said, none of us thought they were going to win 3 games on the road. Like we thought, if they got one, they'd be lucky.
And then we thought Carolina would be a challenge.
Right. Well, listen, like if you go back and look at all their stuff, literally, all their games between Carolina and them over the last 2 years, it's been one goal, 1-2 goal games. Like, so
does this change your opinion about the Golden Knights?
That's a good point, Steve.
I don't know, man.
Because you weren't sold on the Flyers and the Golden Knights. You were very much like, this is going to be a bloodbath.
Might be.
Okay.
It still might be. Like that Vegas team.
Hey, they're the champs.
Really good.
They're the champs.
They're really good. It said, Steve says, this Flyers starting to remind me of Tortorella's 2012 Rangers. Nah, not quite yet.
Well,
not quite.
I mean, they are efficient like it. I do agree with what Steve has to say. It's kind of like what Laviolette had stored too in 2012 too.
How do you like the fact that what was it?
Well, I got
country-born coaches are the 2 leading winningest coaches in the United States. It's like American-born or Canadian-born or whatever it was. Like it's Torts and Laviolette, and I'm like,
opposite teams.
Yeah, and I'm literally still hurt, and Pat knows this. I'm still hurt that we did what we did to Lavi. I know it wasn't all Lavi, but
yeah,
Laviolette was in a hard. It was like walking in a hard place.
Yeah.
No, his message got lost. That happens in hockey.
Yeah.
When you lose, when your message doesn't carry the same weight inside the dressing room, man, it's time to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Joe Sullivan checking in says the Flyers have a good future. The Russian kid is killing it over there too. Yeah.
Yep.
He's killing it. What the hell is his name?
Machekov.
Yeah. He's killing it. Carter Guthrie's killing it where he's over at BU. You know, they were talking about that. He goes.
Kochekov is pretty good, Pat. I mean,
I've heard Kochekov being compared to Sergei Fedorov.
He actually.
Oh, here goes Debbie. Here goes Patty Downer.
Oh, Jesus.
Hurricanes had their backup goalie in last night.
Pat,
let's not get ahead of ourselves, fellas.
Pat, you need to understand something. He won a Calder Cup with the Chicago Wolves in the AHL. So,
here we go.
So basically, he's not a flash in the pan. He's pretty good. He's a pretty good goaltender. Sorry, Pat.
You mess with the Chicago Wolves, you get the wrath of James Corden. That's
why I'm the hockey encyclopedia. Damn it.
Yeah.
But listen, I mean, the one thing that I'm looking at with this,
I think it was the Conn Smythe for that
and
team that year.
if I believe right too, like did the Flyers win a game in this 3 games? Series?
They won two out of 3.
No, but didn't they win one with their backup?
Yeah, with Cal Peterson.
Yeah, Cal Peterson. Like, so I mean,
Well, and Erison too.
And Erison,
yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, they won one with Erison, won one with Peterson,
Yeah.
and then one with
Hart.
One with Hart. So Pat, they kind of won with their backup too.
By the way, folks out there,
Yeah.
don't eat
They're
fish
pretty good
from
team.
West Coast because apparently there's bad fish.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Joey. Since talking about like players that are shocked, how do you feel about Owen Tippett being a real good player, the one that we traded for your pal Giroux?
I'm not sold yet.
I like them. Love them.
I'm not sold on Tippett yet.
No,
Just because I haven't seen enough yet.
I see.
And I'm not, and that's not to
But
say
he has been good.
Look,
I got to admit.
I don't disagree. He hasn't. Okay, so I won't say he's been good. I'd say he hasn't been bad. That's the way I'll go. He's not. And the fact that I've heard one name the other night with the Hurricanes, D'Angelo. I was like, oh, that guy. I'm like, well, I like this guy's a
I'm gonna be
knucklehead.
honest with you. Like, to me, like, he doesn't even draw any ire from me.
No, he don't.
I don't. You know why? Because
He's just a fly in the wall.
yeah, not even. Like, he was here for a cup of coffee. Like, he was
Yeah.
here for a stop. Like, yeah, they traded for him. They got him here, and they realized he was a knucklehead. And they're like, all right, like, it's pretty bad, dude, when your old team's got to take you back because nobody else in the league wants you.
Good point.
I still want to know if, with everything, because I know with like Carter Hart, he's been talked about as a big piece to be traded for this rebuild. Like with
Maybe I woke him
Konechny,
up.
with Konechny
I don't think Konechny's getting moved, dude.
think
Konechny's
he
young.
is either.
Konechny's young enough to
build around.
around.
Yeah.
I
Like,
think
I'm
Frost might be going though.
Who?
Morgan Frost. I think he might be going.
See, I think Morgan Frost.
I would trade Farabee before I trade.
I would
Frost.
trade
Yeah,
Farabee.
I would
No one's gonna like me for this. No one. I would trade Sean Couturier.
So would I.
Oh,
In a heartbeat.
I'm
In a heartbeat.
Sean
I
Couturier.
don't know.
I'm
still in the Coots band.
No, I don't care. Like, like, your best ability is your availability. And
He's
that dude,
what?
I
he's
understand
alwa's
that.
hurt.
Best
I
availability,
understand that.
right?
Best
but
ability is availability. And
he's 28 now, though.
yeah, like,
So-
I would trade him to, like, I would do
Him and Lawton.
I would trade both of them to a
I
contender.
would trade Lawrence.
I would trade both of them to a contender.
Yeah.
Like, they've been here the longest. They're the guys you want to, and Coots has done right by the Flyers. Like him,
Yeah.
I could see them trading them to
decent team.
a decent team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He said
Steve's-
Tips is a sniper.
He is
He's
a
sniping.
sniper.
He isn't Mike Gardner, mind you, but I will take what I can get from him now. Yeah,
Good point.
yeah. I mean, listen, 2 weeks ago, I was snapping between Owen Tippett and Forrester, Tyson Forrester, because both of them guys were reminding me of Rod Brindamore. They were sucking up more ice like a Zamboni, every time they touched the puck, dude, they were falling. Like,
Yeah.
I kept. I think it was with me and Pat in the morning. I said to Pat one Sunday morning, I said, dude, what is up with these guys' skates? I was like, I want to talk to the equipment manager.
I just skated.
I got
No, just them two. The back-to-backs with Buffalo.
I got one word for
Gotcha.
you. Toe pick.
I don't know, man. They need something because them boys, they were sucking up ice in both of those games. I was like, yeah, I'm sitting there watching. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
You know?
I mean, I see. What do you guys think of Walker?
I like him. I like him.
I like him a lot.
I mean, these kids are
Listen,
coming out of the woodwork. I'm
listen,
trying to keep up with the names.
Listen, I've been telling you guys. What's that? He said you just sent my son off with the Coots comment. Listen, I'm sorry, Sean, but you know what? He got to go. He can actually get something back. You can get something back
you
for
can
him.
get something significant back
For him. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You got to.
Yeah,
Like, I just think Konechny's young enough to bring. Number one, Konechny puts the puck in the net.
Yeah.
And that's what you need.
Yeah,
I like Couturier, but he's a defensive forward.
liability. Yeah,
No, he's a defensive forward. That's what he does. He takes your best guy out. So I mean,
You can't have a dump and chase guy in on your first line.
yeah, and
You just can't.
you know what I mean. They need offense, and you know what? I told Pat this probably a year or so ago. I said, dude, I was like, I know you're not going to believe me. I said they got kids coming. Like it's going to take a while. Like we're going to be bad, but they have kids coming up. I mean, you know, and right now, if you take a look at the Phantoms. The Phantoms team is loaded.
Oh yeah.
You know, and they're playing good hockey down there. Like Wade Allison's down there.
Yeah.
Wade Allison has to go down there and play because he can't get no minutes up here.
Yeah. How you guys feel about Cam Atkinson's presence?
No, he would be going too.
Yeah,
I don't care. Like, I did not like that signing. I thought basically we just traded our headache for we swap. Like, we trade
Ristolainen too. I would ship them both out.
Yeah,
and that's your guy.
I know.
That's your guy.
I know.
So, but the other person I have to bring up as possible trade bait is Travis Sanheim. And I don't love it because I like Sanheim, but if I could get something back, because like you said, Mike, that Phantoms is loaded for bear. And
just a real quick,
don't mean to change the subject.
Nick Dean sent us a question, and Nick, we kind of moved on to the Flyers, but we'll answer your question. It says, what do you guys think of the Oubre situation? Very odd.
I don't know, man.
Listen, you don't know what to believe. The guy said people said he got hit by a car. Now they're saying that there's no video of him getting hit by the car. Right away with this whole.
To be honest,
I don't know.
It's clickbait. Yeah, that's what I feel like it is. Someone basically said, "Oh, he's making it up because there's no bruises or okay,
there's no bruises." I mean, dude, the guy's
but he did get hit.
He got cracked ribs. So I mean,
he got cracked ribs.
Well, I'll ask you, Mike. You're the wrestler.
Yeah.
You've had injuries.
Yeah, lots of them.
Okay, so were every single injuries like bruises and bleeds and everything else, or were you just banged up where you were just hurting?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, Joe, because it's different, I guess.
Well, I know.
It's different.
But I mean, like, there's certain things like.
I'm not going to ask you if you had a broken rib or anything.
Like, if you have broken ribs, you know that's 6 to 8 weeks to heal. Like, each rib is 6 to 8 weeks, and during that time, if he's got broken ribs, it's hard for you to breathe, man.
Yeah.
Like when you go to breathe, it hurts, and not even just that. Like even if you don't break any ribs, your cartilages that you have inside your rib cage, you just pull one of them suckers, man, you're in pain.
And I think a lot of people have exaggerated the fact that when you hear hit and run, you think of like action movies and like the guy getting flipped on the hood, and so I think he just got clipped by a mirror.
He may got clipped. Listen, whatever, however he did, but
I don't know what
I don't know. Like we live in such a digital world now. Like people don't believe unless you can show it.
Yeah,
they don't believe it, and
if I can't see it, it's not
right.
Well,
and
I'm a bad example of that, but still, like if it didn't happen, I don't believe it.
Right, and some people are like that, but I if the guy tells me, the guy was playing great, like it wasn't like he was in a bad,
I hated the fact that some of the cynical people in the city were like, "Oh, if he's a liar, he should be cut," and I'm like, that's
why they're not GMs and they're sitting home.
Yes,
and they're ridiculous.
Armchair GMs.
Yes, of course, and you know what? We're guilty of it too because
I know.
But at least we have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the Flyers.
Steve turned around. He says, I'm seeing TK blocking shots and doing things he didn't do before. Risto is a loser.
True that, Steve.
Oh, man, Joe, you really, James, you really kind of turned your back on Risto there, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
this is a guy
he ain't lying.
Dude, this is a guy that months before the Flyers signed him, was on our show basically saying the Flyers are going to sign Ristolainen.
We need to get like a Ristolainen
right.
Here.
And he's like, and when they signed him, he was the happiest dude in the studio.
I mean, obviously he played for a bad Sabres team, but I'm saying, okay, maybe he can probably go to a better team and be successful.
Well, here's the other thing, and everyone knows this about the Sixers and about the Eagles and about the
I'll
Phillies.
tell you what, though, I'm a fan of Batum. I like Nicholas Batum. I would also like him going back to his Portland days.
But with the Flyers, you have to have a good nucleus.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't yet built what that nucleus looks like.
That's fair.
TK could be part of that,
sure,
but he's not all of that.
Yeah.
Like Carter, Hart, and TK could be a big part of it. But like, think about what you're saying, what Forrester, like, would you leap to that thought that Forrester is an assistant captain or, like a potential core guy? He could be, but can you sign off on it that he's an absolute?
Nick Dean writes, clip by a mirror, a.k.a. a Slayer clothesline. Yeah, I heard that guy's pretty stiff, Nick. I'm just saying, man. Kind of heard that quite a few times.
Yep.
But, what's really funny, getting back to this with this Flyers team, me and Pat were, if you listen to us, we did not want nothing to do with Tortorella. I was like, don't bring this dude here. He's a bum. He's nothing but a sideshow. He's not going to do nothing. And, all the dude has done is just taught. And he's teach. And I got to go on camera and say, all right, John, I'm sorry. I was wrong. But, I do. But you do. You got to give him credit. He's really taken chicken, and made chicken salad. Yeah. To this point anyway. And I will give Pat, my partner on Sunday mornings, a little credit.
Am I going to have to drink more?
No. Believe me. Yeah. He's like a clock. He's right twice a day. And
there's proof of it too.
Yeah. And but he did call that. He said to me, he said, he goes, I just have a weird feeling about this Flyers team that, they might make a little noise this year. He's like, I can maybe see them maybe sneaking in the back end of the playoffs. And I'm going, no, I don't want them to do that. But that would be the Flyer thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
That would be
a Flyer thing to do. Yeah. But I said in the beginning of the year, 30, I think I said 34 wins and 75 points.
Okay.
Something like that. So, it's not it's not world beating.
No.
But
I think they're going to be middle of the pack. To me, I see a difference in this team from a year ago.
Yeah.
A year ago, they were lifeless. They were flat. You just watched the game, and you just knew within 60 minutes they were going to get their butts kicked.
They were defeated before they stepped on the ice.
Yeah, a lot of them look like, look, we're just going to get through this. And
right.
This year, I'm seeing a lot of fight. I'm seeing a lot of grit.
They were Marshawn Lynch. They were, I'm here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, that was last year.
Well, I think the reason why they looked better was with Jonesy taking the helm too. I think it changed the culture of the team.
True. You don't know. I guess. I think there's going to be a little bit more time. But
that's going to be a longevity thing.
Yeah,
seeing what happens.
But I hope they let him do it. You know what I mean? And I'm tired of. Here's the thing that kills me. I know Briere and Jonesy, they put the Flyers. They wore the Flyers sweaters. I understand that. But what people don't remember is that Danny Briere was a Buffalo Sabre before he came here.
Good point.
Okay? Jonesy was a Washington Capital and a Colorado Avalanche before he came here to ever don a Flyers sweater. And these guys, again, people are going to look and go, well, I don't think really, Jonesy should have got the job. Why? Every person around the National Hockey League, when Jonesy would come to town, that's who they would go for to get information about the Flyers.
Well, I would also go one step further and say this. Danny Briere, when he was a free agent after Buffalo, he was desired by many teams.
Yeah.
But he chose to come to Philly.
Mm-hmm.
He chose us. So there's a part of that where it's like, when a player chooses this city, we embrace that player, that person. And I kind of go back to Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper could have wrote his ticket anywhere. We already know that. He could have wrote his ticket anywhere, but he chose to come to Philly. You have a guy like Kelly Oubre, who's maybe a minor name in that whole blip, but people choose to come to Philly now. It's not stay away.
Yeah, if you're looking at the overall landscape of our sports teams, it's looking very good and very bright because now people want to come here. This football team that we have that we're going to talk about a little later, guys, they got a young nucleus. People want to come here and play. This is going to be a destination spot now. Before, when we would see all these guys that would hold out till mid-season and then join it, they're at the tail end of their careers and they want to go somewhere to win a ring. Philly's going to be that spot.
Or they go to places like New York or Chicago or LA or something like that, or Boston, and we go, how were we not able to get them?
Right.
Because they're just not sold on us.
Right. Well, here's the thing too. I think the Sixers can kind of get out of they need to catch up with that, I think, in a little bit, because there's some sour grapes around the league about the Sixers. Right. You know what I mean? So with that being said, like I said, to me, it's just.
Do you think there's sour grapes about the Flyers? Do you think that there are some players that still aren't sold on being a Flyer, and then that might be some of the difficulty with some of the rebuild with the free agencies?
No, just they know the Flyers are rebuilding, so they don't want to come.
Not yet.
Not yet. Like once
Probably in a couple of years.
once you start seeing a team get a nucleus,
Yeah.
the veterans are going to want to come because now they know they're the missing piece.
They can galvanize the roster.
They can get right,
Yeah.
exactly. So like right now, the Flyers don't have many pieces that's going to galvanize. And everybody's talking about this Carter Hart thing. Listen, don't forget too, NHL still got that investigation going for that under the was a sexual harassment thing for Team Canada.
Hmm.
So like there's going to be suspensions and everything else given out on that. They just haven't said nothing yet.
Hmm.
So you got to look for that coming down the line as well.
Those sneaky Canadians.
I love our neighbors to the north.
Yep.
Well, guys, listen, look, Joey, we're going to get ready to knock down the door on this Monday night football game. Revenge time coming up against those Kansas City Chiefs Monday night. I'm going to break it down with Joe and James here, but we got to pay some bills. So we'll be right back in a second.
All right, guys, if you're a Philly sports fan and you want to travel with your favorite team, then travel with the best. Go to phillysportstrips.com. They have self-travel packages and full travel packages available with round-trip flights from the Philadelphia airport. Packages include direct flights, 4-night stays, all-inclusive tailgate parties, lower-level group tickets. Whatever you want, you got it with phillysportstrips.com. If you want to travel to an upcoming Phillies game, make sure you check out Philly Sports Trips. And do not forget, Philly Sports Trips has all the away trips for the Eagles' upcoming 2023 season. Jump on it now because you do not want to lose out on all these great opportunities. Go to phillysportstrips.com.
All right, guys, we're back. Joe, we got a big game Monday night. James, you got a big one, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this. You guys can join me and a bunch of the EOP family post game after the Chiefs game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this game more than any game this weekend.
Well, that's cool, man. I hope you're able to, I hope you're able to enjoy the game. A lot of people got the Eagles losing this game. I don't
either.
He said Andy Reid called our defensive coordinator brilliant. Now Andy must be trying to play head games at our DC. Mike is going to stand on this field. I know. Mike, listen.
Don't go to the sod, father. Let's not do that.
Listen, I'm looking at it like this, man. Mike is my buddy, man. And listen, he's on a hill with some things, man. He doesn't like our defensive coordinators. But I think the Birds got a chance in this game because one, you're getting Roby back healthy. Galen's been not wearing a knee brace, practicing this week. So hopefully that's starting to heal. He said, I love my Eagles, but brilliant is too strong. Yeah. But so I mean, yeah. Anyway, getting back to this game, I like the Eagles. I like the Eagles secondary. I like the secondary coming into this game. Like I said, they're getting healthy. Maybe Mr. Swift cannot kill us this game.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Rashad Penny.
No, I said Mr. Swift. Travis Kelce, Mr. Swift. But
I get it.
Oh my!
I understand now.
Yeah, Mr. Swift. Mr. Swift. Oh man.
She's going to be there.
Good for her. I wanted to see her if she wears Kansas City colors. Philadelphia, do not let that chick back. She's from this area. She says she's an Eagles fan. If she's at that game wearing KC red,
listen,
kick her to the curb.
No, she's a mush.
No. Listen, you want us to win. Let's remember the last starlet that was dating somebody on the opposite team we wanted to beat. Jessica Simpson and Tony Romo. Let Taylor Swift do what Taylor does. Let Tay-Tay be all of that and more. Let her wear a Kansas City Chief. Because that means we are going to win.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I for some odd reason, I got Burgess Meredith in my head going, women, weekend legs. I don't know why. Just the thought of Mick. Rock. Yeah. Women, weekend legs. I could just see that now. But, I just thought it was funny. Like,
if I'm Jason, I'm getting Travis all lit up the night before. I'm getting him like.
What do you think, Travis? Ain't gonna get Jason? Trying to get Jason lit up? Like, yeah, he's going to Jason.
I'm sure there. Jason's been there plenty of times during game days.
Oh man! But now the interesting thing for me, honestly, is though, this Eagles, the linebacking core, for me, I feel like they got it. Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw, they worked out Anthony Barr this week.
Heard this, yeah.
I don't want Anthony Barr.
I don't.
He was kind of washed when he went to Dallas a couple of years ago.
1 tackle in 14 games.
Yeah. I don't. We don't need that. And
one tackle. I mean, you could sneeze and tackle somebody, Mike, in 14 games.
In 14 games, yeah. Like I said, and he played on that Dallas defense too, so it wasn't like he was playing on a bad defense.
No.
So that's why. Let's see, my boy Mike Papper to checking in. He says, "I want to see the Eagles run."
Here we go
with Jalen Hurts, knee, and use Julio a little more in the slot to help set out. With Goddard being out, man, we got trains going by everything, man. Whew.
Wow.
Okay, Julio.
I like the idea, though, what Mike said about Julio, like making him like a tight end type for it right now, because we're not getting no use out of the tight ends. The guy with the real long name that we got from Denver.
It's like a scrapple name.
Alcantara?
No, not Alcantara. Alcantara's out. He's been out with the kid they got this year from. Yeah, he's got the real huge long name. He played like 3 plays.
But, I mean, here's my thing. Everyone who sits there and says it should be a running game, it's not. And it shouldn't be. And I'll tell you why. Because the Kansas City Chiefs are outmatched at the receiver position with the Eagles. Way outmatched.
I don't know, man. You're talking about, what do you mean? Our
receivers versus their receivers?
Yeah, but our receivers are not going to be covering their receivers.
No.
Our receivers are going to be they're going to be going against their secondary.
And that being said, I'm going to say this. This is going to come down, I think both offenses kind of wash in this. And I think this game I have the Eagles winning, but I don't have them winning by the best margin.
I have the Birds winning too. I think this is a game that they can win.
But I think that's going to be a defensive game.
Really?
I do.
I don't.
I'm not saying defense 10-7, but I'm saying the defenses are going to make plays. The Kansas City defense is good.
I know they are. They have a really good front seven. Their interior line can get up and get upfield.
And Trent McDuffie is a top 5 corner.
Yeah, Trent McDuffie's good. And I'm looking at the kid Rice, the rookie wide receiver.
Yep.
I feel like he can pose problems for the Eagles. Kermit the Frog's going to have a good day. And that's all, I'm sorry. He does. He sounds like Kermit the Frog. I'm sorry.
I know.
But, I cried. Kermit's going to have a good day Monday night, man. It's just, Jalen's got to out.
So I guess
think Jalen.
So is Taylor Swift Miss Piggy then?
Oh, man.
Jesus. Well, this took a turn.
For the worst. But I don't know. So give me a final prediction.
Is Andy Gonzo? Or are we going this far?
Or Fozzie Bear, one or the other.
Right. I could see that.
James, give me your score for Eagles game Monday night.
I think it's going to be that Hurts is going to be fully rested. I think he's going to look very good in that game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think towards the end, I think Jalen Hurts is going to go down the field, and I think Elliott's going to kick a field goal to win the game for the Eagles.
All right, so what's your score?
I would say 37.
37, 34?
31, 28.
31, 28. All right, Joe, what's your prediction?
So, like I said, this kind of feels like the offenses are going to hit, and the defenses are going to be the things that are the game breakers for either side.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Eagles 21, Kansas City 20.
21-20. Wow, that's a low-scoring game.
I don't think we that scored.
I don't know, man. I got the Birds winning, though. I think the Birds going to continue to put up 30 points. I think they can put up 30 points on that Kansas City defense. I mean, Denver put up 25 on them.
Understand something. Kansas City averages 7.5 points in the second half of the last 3 games. So they're not world beaten when it comes.
They're not, but you also got to look at it too. Mike's got 30-26 Eagles. I'm going to go 31. I'm going to go 31-23. Because their offense hasn't been scoring as much. And I feel like if you can take away and make them punt in that game, you know, if the Birds get out of Arrowhead with a win, then to me, I'm ecstatic because that's a game that everybody had on the calendar as a loss.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of playing with fool's money. They're coming off a bye week, but Andy's really good off the bye week as well.
Yeah. Really good.
All right, guys, we're going to take our last time out here. When we come back, we got our picks. That's right. I give you my 6-pack. Joe's going to give you his 6-pack. James is going to give you his. We got our 3 colleges. And then, guys, tonight we have an off-the-wall lineup here at Edge of Philly Sports. So we're going to go pay some bills, and we'll be right back.
All right, guys, let's talk about Cherry Law Firm. If you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, you got to call David R. Cherry of the Cherry Firm. Call 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your rights. Again, that number is 610-565-0300. That's 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your right.
All right, we are back with our 6-pack and our college picks. So you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so for me, 3 college picks I got this week. I got Miami over Louisville. That might be a little bit of a back burner, but it should be an interesting.
You have Miami over Louisville?
Yeah, I like to see an upset.
Okay.
Clemson over North Carolina. I like that game. I think it's going to be a good game for Clemson. I think it might be a good game for Debo taking on Tar Heels.
Clemson is definitely falling off this year.
They have. I'm just trying to make a couple Cinderella picks here. So for the last one, Mike, you'll like this one. I got Rutgers over Penn State this week.
Okay, so you took in your 3-pack. You got Rutgers. Who else?
Miami over Louisville.
And then
Clemson over North Carolina.
And Clemson over North Clemson. All right. So you taking them straight up, right? Just to pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't got any points.
Okay. Joe, you didn't do it?
No.
All right. So I won't charge you for that. I'll give you mine.
Well, I went 0 for 3 last.
Don't feel bad, bro. I went 2-1 last week, but you really did pretty decent on your money line picks. I'm sorry, guys. I literally ran from work and came right here, so I didn't have my book with me. But, if I looked at your thing, I think you were right around 500. Yeah. You know what I mean? You might have been maybe either 1 over or 1 under, but you were right there. My 3-pack, I'm going to take those Kansas Jayhawks at home. They're getting 9.5 at home at Kansas State. Now, mind you, Kansas State's ranked 21 in the country. Kansas is ranked 25th in the country. So you're talking about 5 spots.
Right.
And the game's in Lawrence. So I'm sorry, I am going with the Jayhawks.
And those interstate rivalries are always
they're always
heated.
Yep, they always are. And I think K-State won last year. Yep. So, excuse me. K-State won last year, so I believe so. So I'm taking Kansas with the 9 points. Took Nebraska this week, and Nebraska is playing. I just had it up here. Sorry. I took Nebraska, and they're playing. Where's that? Wisconsin. I'm not a firm believer in Wisconsin. The only thing I like about Wisconsin is they do jump around to start the fourth quarter. It's probably one of the best traditions in college football. I will do that one day, hopefully when I'm like 70. But I want to do it. So yeah, I'm going to take Nebraska. Like I said, I'm not sold on Wisconsin. Wisconsin, every time I've picked Wisconsin to be in something or cover something. They have totally let me down. So I am actually going with them. And my last game is my upset of the week. I am taking those UCLA Bruins over those USC Trojans, and they're getting 6.5. So, and the game is and the game is at the Coliseum. So it's going to be a great interstate one, and it's in the Wacky Packy 12. So that'll be a late game, I believe.
And which one's leaving? UCLA?
They're both leaving. They're both leaving. They're both going
for the
Big
10,
Big
right?
10, yeah.
Wow.
They're going to the Big 10. So
boy.
that's why I laughed. I was like, that's going to be a great.
So they're both going to stick the middle finger up to the Pac-12. After
The Pac-12 is going to be. Oh, Washington's coming too.
Yeah.
It's Washington. This year it's Washington.
And USC.
Washington, USC, and UCLA. All three of them are coming. They're going to the Big 10 West.
Jeez.
So I'm like, that's why I started laughing. Like when I did my rant, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw my rant that I put up on Twitter on Saturday after, again.
That's why I picked Rutgers.
Oh, that's a great thing, too, man. The game starts at 3:30. All right, cool. So that's not even a late wacky-packy game.
Excellent.
Well, yeah, I love how the fact that in about Franklin, that is a national story now. It's not just a local thing now.
You know why? Because he literally the day after, he had the audacity to sit there and when a guy questioned him and gave him a great question, he blew the guy off. Like that's why I went on there. I said, this guy is clueless. He is really clueless. If they had Luke Fickell as their head coach, the guy who's in Wisconsin right now, like he's got such a hell of a job in Wisconsin that he's got to rebuild that team. If he would have been here at Penn State, just him being our football coach, they would have beaten Ohio State and beaten Michigan because they have the talent to do so. This idiot does not know what he's doing. And what
happened with Harbaugh that he got suspended?
Oh, he was stealing signs.
He pulled an Astros.
He pulled a Bill Belichick, instead of Deflategate or Jackgate, whatever it was.
Same thing.
He was stealing signs, and so I mean, it's
if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Listen, the best thing was Luke. No, who was it? Somebody from the Big Ten came out and was like, "We do it all the time." He was like, "We all steal each other's signs." He was like, "It's no big thing." He was like, "They just trying to make Jim an example." Joe, let's go with your 6-pack.
All right, so first I got up the Niners in the Bucs. I have the Niners kind of needing to get this win to kind of stay in the hunt for what potentially could be a very tight division in the West.
So you got 49ers winning.
Yeah, 49ers. Okay. Giants Commanders is kind of my sleeper. I have the Giants winning.
Okay.
I think the Giants have to wake out of the coma at some point, and I think the Commanders are the team that they're going to wake out of the coma.
If there's anybody who's going to beat them, like the Giants have owned the Washington Commanders.
Yep,
that's true.
So, all right, what's your next one?
Jacksonville and the Titans. I got to go Jacksonville. I got to go Dougie P. has to right the course, and he has to kind of get back onto it. Ravens and Bengals that are tonight.
Yep.
I think it's a must-win for the Bengals. The Bengals can't afford to lose this game and let this division get out of their hands.
You're taking the Cincinnati Joe Burrows. Okay.
Yep. Jets and Bills.
Okay.
I'm taking the Bills. I'm riding that defense with the Buffalo Bills and the Bills Mafia. Seahawks and Rams.
Yep.
I am picking the Seattle Seahawks to go smash the Rams. That defense for Seattle scares the hell out of me.
Okay. So these are your picks. 49ers, Giants, Jaguars. Tonight's game, you're taking the Bengals, the Bills, and Seattle. James, what's yours, buddy?
Okay, I got a 6 here. So the first one I got, I think the Bengals are going to win tonight. I think this is going to be the game that Joe Burrow shows what he has. The second game is obvious. I got the Lions over the Bears. Jags come back this week with a lot of power against that's Will Levis, right?
Yes.
Still Will Levis. Yeah, I think that's going to be Trevor Lawrence's game that he is.
I think the Tennessee Titans just have like quarterback on a milk carton with a question mark.
Yeah, so there's no question about that. This is an obvious one too. I got the Texans over Arizona. CJ Stroud is playing on fire right now.
I was wrong. He is for real.
Yeah, that's against Jonathan Gannon, so that's a scheduled win for them, obviously. Buccaneers. I got the Bucs in this one. I
You
think
taking Tampa Bay? Okay.
I'm taking Tampa Bay on that one. That might be my sleeper. I was not curious. I was not okay about this one, but I was like saying, this might be the game. Josh Allen has a better game, but then again, if they lose this game, they're going to go to 5-6. So I got to go with Buffalo. As much as I hate to say it, I was going to say the Jets at first, but I said no. There's no way.
All right.
Are they out of the playoffs if they lose?
They're out of the playoffs right now. As of right now. All right. So I got your guys 6. What I do is I keep them, and then what I do is when the game goes on, I just check them whether you win or not, and then I put down what it is. My games that I'm going with this week, I'm taking the Cleveland Browns at home, -1 against Pittsburgh. Kenny Tiny Hands not going to get it done in.
Tiny Hands.
Oh, come on.
Kenny Tiny Hands is not getting it done in Cleveland. The Cleveland defense is better than Pittsburgh's defense. I'll say it right now. The Browns have a better defense. They have a better defense, and you know what? They got more playmakers on their offense than Pittsburgh has on theirs.
You're going with the rookie too?
I'm going with the rookie. No, I'm going.
No, I'm saying the rookie.
That Cleveland starting the
Browns,
rookie over PJ.
Start the rookie.
Oh, Dorian, what's it? Thompson Green.
Thompson
That's
Robinson.
fine.
Yeah.
Listen, all he needs to do is run the ball, and that's all they need to do is run the ball. They're going to beat the Steelers.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, Joe, James, I agree with you. I took Detroit -7 against the Bears. I think Detroit's just
smashing people.
They're on a whole other level.
Of another draft pick.
Also, I agree with you, Joe. Joe. I'm sorry, James. I also agree with you. I took the Houston Texas minus. 4.5 shouldn't even be.
Yeah,
shouldn't even be. That's a give me in my eyes.
Absolutely.
Arizona Cardinals. Please, like you said that's a scheduled win. This is where I differ from you guys. Both of you guys have the Bills. I'm taking those New York Jets +7.
I was going to pick the Jets too.
I'm taking the Jets +7. I am definitely that. Josh Allen cannot get out of his head, and the Jets have a better defense than the Broncos did, and the Broncos made Josh Allen look very, very bad Monday night. I'm taking the Jets -7.
Darn it.
I'll tell you what. The Sunday night game took Denver at home over Minnesota, getting 2.5. -2.5. Or no,
you're gonna.
I'm taking Denver. I'm taking Denver at home. Yes, Josh Dobbs is coming back. Yes, Justin Jefferson's coming back. They have to go to Arizona. Did you see what happened to the Chiefs when they went there 2 weeks ago? High altitude. Nope. And they're playing with confidence right now. That Denver team's playing with confidence. And Joe, me and you are finally in agreement with one game. We both love the Seattle Seahawks this week. I love them over the Rams.
Against that Sharman Wentz.
Yeah. Sharman, I don't know. I don't think so. I think they just signed him as a backup.
Oh, so I don't care. He's still in the Rams.
Yeah, he's still in the Rams. So guys, this is our picks for the week. We will take to social media next week to give our picks because, guys, actually,
it's Thanksgiving.
It is Thanksgiving, and we will not be here. And I want to wish everybody out there a happy Thanksgiving from our family to yours. So we will not be here next week. We will be enjoying the day with our families, and we suggest you guys do too.
Before we go any further, your birthday's coming up around Thanksgiving, so happy early birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to the Hammer, which, by the way, guys, if you're not really kind of figuring this out now, Joe and James are both going to be a permanent fixture on the locker room. So it's not just Mike Laurel's locker room sports. We're just changing it to locker room sports. So Joe is definitely now a member of this, and it's also as James as well. So,
by the way, it's fermenting in here.
It is.
Well, it's the locker room. It should be.
Yeah. So, but again, guys. At the end of the day, from our family to yours, have a happy Thanksgiving. We will see you 2 Thursdays from now. Same bat time, same bat channel. Guys, before we go, James, just follow me, just coming down the pike here, Mitch Kofke and Fly Eagles Podcast. Was it Fly Eagles Podcast? Fly Eagles Fly Podcast or Fly Like an Eagles Podcast? Fly Like an Eagles.
There we go.
I'm so sorry, Mitch. I'm going to get it right one of these days. After Mitchie Poo, we have Austin and Gus attacking the third. And I think Pat's doing something tonight with Jim Chesko about some scary movies. They're going to be on Devereaux Sports as well. So if you want to go see Pat and Jim talk about scary movies, they'll be on Devereaux Sports.
Chet's everywhere.
Oh, ain't he? Ain't he? He is everywhere. Him and Bill.
Yeah.
So, guys, again, for Joey Marks, for Game Scores, I am Mike Lauro, and we will see you guys again in 2 weeks. Have a happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Later.
Go Birds.